Hey guys, me Matthew again, and today I'm going to be doing another audio series. Anyways, if you're new here, please like, subscribe to the bell down below. If you're not subscribed, please like, subscribe to the bell down below, as well as go for my community posts. You do not know where you may find. But anyways, this story is pretty much similar to Hunger Games and several other types, but slightly different. It's a bit more similar to Minecraft story mode, where they encounter the games at the end of season 2, but it's a bit more realistic than Minecraft to the best of my capability, and is in a future setting. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the story. Chapter 23, Heart Training. This Congan and I ran into a scrapyard simulation. I could smell that the scrap metal was real. My love? I smirked excitedly. As we both entered the scrapyard simulation, the metallic scent of real steel and iron filled our nostrils. Bisconigan looked at me with a knowing smirk. Bisconigan, this is no simulation, my love. This is the real deal. She squeezes my hand tightly, her eyes sparkling with excitement. We nodded as we made our nanotechnology subtly tend to the metal as we spread out, turning the usable scrap into more nanotechnology as we wait for our 25 opponents. We both stood calmly, our nanotechnology slowly transforming the scrap around us into additional nanites. The 25 elite soldiers entered the simulation, their heavy footsteps echoing through the scrapyard. They were heavily armed and armored, their weapons glinting menacingly in the artificial light. Is that you, Drews? How long have you been in the rebellion, half-brother? My voice echoed in the simulation room. One of the soldiers stepped forward, his face obscured by a helmet, but his voice was unmistakable. Drews, my half-brother, revealed himself. Drews, long enough to realize that the commander running our country is a tyrant, and you two are the biggest threats to his power. True enough. At least our parents would be proud that we've come to work together on the same side while they are currently passed away. Anyways, are you ready to start our training? I asked excitedly, enthusiastically. Drews laughed, sounding genuinely amused. Drews, only you could get excited about being attacked by your own brother and 24 other soldiers. He raised his rifle, pointing it at me. Drews, but don't think I'll go easy on you just because we share DNA. Good luck with that. I knew he only knew about my previous enhancements, which I'm showing in their original form. However, the buzzer went off, starting the battle. The moment the buzzer sounded, the entire scrapyard erupted into chaos. Soldiers fired their weapons, the air filled with the deafening noise of gunshots and explosions. Drews led the charge, his rifle spitting out a barrage of bullets aimed directly at me. My form disappeared into thin air, but not the same as a holographic decoy. The bullets did hit and fell to the ground. The soldiers paused. Confusion etched on their faces as the bullets they fired simply dropped to the ground midair. Drews, his eyes narrowed, his finger hovering over the trigger. Druce. What the? He began to scan the area, searching for any sign of me. Druce. Where did he go? He looked at his bullets before grabbing one, only to have it, his comrades' weapons, and his own turn to dust, or at least the metal parts, including the scrap in the scrapyard as well, revealing that Bisconigan and I had disappeared. Drew stared in shock as the metal parts of his weapon and the surrounding scrapyard disintegrated into dust. The soldiers around him froze in disbelief, their weapons suddenly useless. Bisconigan and I had vanished without a trace, leaving only a silent metal scrapyard behind. Tell me, Druce, why do you think I paired your personality with a wolf like the ones in Wyoming? Because it was more than because you're a lone wolf. My voice echoed in the simulation room. Druce, his eyes flashed with anger and surprise as my voice echoed through the simulation room. He dropped his now useless rifle, knowing that I had somehow manipulated the metal around him. Druce. Because I'm a predator? He growled, scanning the area for any sign of movement. Yes, but no. It's because, despite our mother being a tomboy, you've always been a kiss-ass. I broke the illusion made by Bisconigan Eye's nanotechnology, revealing two realistic Smilodons made entirely out of our nanotechnology. So who's ready to test their luck against two real predators? The soldier's eyes widened in terror as two massive lifelike Smilodons appeared before them. Druce's face contorted with anger and fear, realizing that our nanotechnology had created perfect replicas of ancient predators. Druce, you always did have a way with words when it came out right, he snarled. I laughed wildly as I snapped my fingers before French kissing Bisconigan while our Smilodons roared ferociously as they ran off to attack. The soldiers scattered in panic as the two enormous Smilodons charged, their powerful jaws snapping and tearing through anything in their path. Drew stood his ground, his eyes locked on the two of us as we shared a passionate French kiss, completely unfazed by the chaos unfolding around us. The Smilodons attacked without the intent to kill, but to knock out our opponents. The soldiers screamed as the Smilodons pounced, their powerful bodies knocking them off their feet with expert precision. None were seriously injured, but all were quickly subdued and unconscious within minutes. Druce watched in amazement as the predators retreated, revealing 24 unconscious soldiers. I broke the kiss. Druce, meet my beloved mistress in the bedroom, Bisconigan. Bisconigan, my love, meet my 5-year-old her half-brother Druce. Druce's eyes widened as he took in Bisconigan, his jaw dropping slightly. He had always known I had a unique relationship, but seeing the two of us together like this was intense. He swallowed hard, trying to maintain his composure. Bisconigan. Charming. Bisconigan exclaimed before I disappeared again before reappearing behind Druce, hitting the back of his neck just hard enough to knock him out. Well, that was fun. The buzzer went off before ending the simulation, the holographic room turning off, revealing a large white paneled room. The simulation room fell silent as the holographic environment dissolved, leaving Drews unconscious on the floor. Miss Connigan looked at me with a satisfied smirk, her eyes glowing with affection. The room was filled with stunned scientists and military personnel, processing what they had just witnessed. Speakers. Mission accomplished. Biscayga and I snapped our fingers, turning the Smilodons into airborne nanotech. Mechs came in with stretchers for the 24 unconscious soldiers and for Drews as well, Commander Martinez walking in with them. Commander Martinez surveyed the scene, his expression unreadable as he took in the unconscious soldiers and Drews. The mechs began loading the soldiers onto stretchers, none with serious injuries thanks to our careful control. He approached Biscayga and I, his voice low. Biscayga and I's arms wrapped around each other's backs happily. Commander Martinez cleared his throat, trying to ignore the obvious display of affection between Biscayga and I. Commander Martinez. That was unprecedented, he said, shaking his head slightly. Commander Martinez. 25 highly trained soldiers incapacitated in less than 5 minutes without a single serious injury. And the 25th just so happens to be my 5-year-older half-brother Drews, who, last I knew, was living in Southeast Asia with my sister-in-law, sir. So when the hell did he come back to the States? Commander Martinez's expression darkened slightly at the mention of Drews. Commander Martinez. He returned about a month ago. High Command wanted him for a special project. Seems they underestimated how much he'd changed. He glances at Drews being loaded onto the stretcher. Commander Martinez. You hit him pretty hard there. Only enough to knock him out. However, I won't deny that it felt good to finally put him on his bold ass. I giggled as I stroked my well-maintained long hair. Commander Martinez raised an eyebrow at my casual remark but didn't comment further. Instead, he turned to Biscayga. Commander Martinez. And you two seem quite comfortable with each other. It wasn't a question, more of an observation. The mechs finished loading Drews onto the stretcher. You're not talking about Biscayga and I being a couple. You're talking about the nanotech. Commander Martinez chuckled dryly. Commander Martinez. Both, actually. But let's focus on the nanotech for now. You two seem to have quite the control over them. He watched as the medics wheeled Drews away. I've actually thought about this since I was still in my teens to adulthood. I've thought about their uses, and they're extraordinary in the right quantity, and you just gave one half of it to me, who's thought for around 40 years or so, sir. I smirked, excitedly humble. Commander Martinez nodded thoughtfully, impressed by my enthusiasm and knowledge. Commander Martinez. And you seem to have already thought of quite a few applications. Care to share? He glanced between Biscayga and I, noticing how well us two work together, both professionally and personally. You don't want to know, sir. Trust me. Anyways, do you see why I asked for something harder and challenging, sir? Martinez's eyes darkened slightly, understanding my implication. He knew I had just taken down 24 elite soldiers with ease. He uncrossed his arms, thinking for a moment. Commander Martinez. You want something that can actually challenge you. It wasn't a question. I extended out my hand a little before creating a butterfly with the nanotech coming together, its wings shimmering metallically with purple in its wings as it flexes its wings in my hand. Commander Martinez's eyes widen at the intricate detail of the metallic butterfly. It was clear that I had complete control over the nanotech, creating something beautiful and delicate rather than destructive. Commander Martinez, something that can push your limits, he murmured, more to himself than to us. Base Connigan ran her finger along the butterfly's wings. As Base Connigan's finger grazed the wings of the butterfly, it shimmered even more beautifully, the purple hue intensifying. Commander Martinez couldn't help but stare at the mesmerizing sight. He cleared his throat, breaking the silence. Commander Martinez, I think I might have just the thing. The butterfly dissipated into air. We're ready when you start the next simulation, sir. These past 5 months was spent with hard training. Visconican and I were unstoppable, but Commander Martinez keeps us on our toes with new simulations each day. I had gained my brother Drew's respect after that first simulation. During our breaks, we used our nail tech to entertain everyone. We even did a few duets as well. The children loved our performances and magic tricks, but we told them the truth about how we created those spectacles. We're currently checking in on Zara to see how she's doing with her polycythemia vera condition. We find her in the blood donation booth, helping move coolers of blood bags into the medical freezer area. Hey Zara, it's been a while. Have you been since after waking up in your real body once your cloned died and was swallowed mournfully by the dragon in Abomination's arena? I smiled warmly, Bisconican holding my arm, her head resting on my shoulder. Zara looks up from her task, her eyes light up with a warm smile as she recognizes us too. She sets down the cooler of blood bags and walks over to us both, giving each of us a gentle hug. Zara. Hey guys, I've been doing much better since that intense experience. That's good. Stress didn't look good on you. Have you been working out in your spare time at least, despite your blood condition? I asked understandingly. Zara nods enthusiastically, her muscular physique evidence of her dedication to fitness despite her condition. Zara. Yep, I've been working out every morning before sunrise. It helps me manage the PV symptoms better. She flexes one of her toned arms playfully. I let Beast Connigan speak now that my questions have been answered. Beast Connigan smiled softly at Zara, her eyes filled with genuine concern and admiration. Beast Connigan. That's impressive, Zara. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. And have you been taking the iron supplements like the doctor recommended? She asks gently. Zara nods again, patting her stomach lightly. Zara. Yeah, I have been. They make me feel a bit nauseous sometimes, but it's worth it to manage my blood counts better. She looks between the two of us, noticing our affectionate display. Zara, you two are looking really cute together, by the way. We giggled. You've seen our duets, huh? I laughed humbly. Zara grins mischievously, remembering the stunning performances us two have put on during breaks. Zara, of course I have. You two are seriously talented. The way you move and synchronize, it's almost magical. She fans herself dramatically, making Beast Connigan blush. It's just a new enhancement exclusive to us called nanotechnology. We just use it to add special effects to add to the show, I said honestly. Zara's eyes widen with fascination as she listens to me explain the nanotechnology. Zara, wow, that sounds incredibly complex and amazing. So it's like teeny robots that you can control to create those stunning visuals? She asks, her curiosity piqued. That and more, we're able to use them to refract light to create illusions or to go invisible, even block out sound. Zara's mouth falls open in astonishment, her eyes shining with wonder. Zara, that's incredible. I had no idea nanotechnology could do that. So when you two perform your duets, all those special effects are actually real? She asks excitedly. More or less, but yes. However, you don't want to know what we can do when our nanotechnology has replicated enough. Zara's expression turns intrigued, leaning in closer. Zara, oh, now you have to tell me, what kind of things can you do with a large amount of nanotechnology? She whispers conspiratorially, eager to know more about this fascinating enhancement. Several inappropriate things. I laughed, knowing better than to tell her outright. Zora's face turns bright red as she processes my vague yet suggestive response. She bursts out laughing, covering her mouth with her hand. Zara, oh my lord, I can only imagine. You two are so mysterious and intriguing, she says between giggles, shaking her head in amusement. Beast Connigan took over the conversation, knowing my intentions. Beast Connigan smiles warmly at Zara, her eyes sparkling with amusement. Beast Connigan, well, we have to keep some secrets, don't we? Besides, it's more fun that way. She leans in closer to Zara, lowering her voice to a conspiratorial whisper. I watched silently with a soft smile. Zara leans in even closer, her eyes wide with excitement and curiosity. She nods eagerly, clearly loving the mysterious atmosphere Beast Connigan is creating. Zara, definitely, secrets make life more interesting, she whispers back, her voice barely audible. Zara, so can I at least know one small secret about you two, please? A woman interrupted, looking at Zara sternly before picking up a cooler of blood bags and putting them back in Zara's hands. The sudden interruption causes all three of us to jump slightly, the mysterious atmosphere dissipating as the stern-looking woman appears. She glances disapprovingly at Beast Connigan and I before focusing her attention back on Zara. Blood donation manager. Zara, stop wasting time and get back to work. Now. We'll leave you to your job now, but we should catch up when all this is over. I smiled warmly. Zara sighed softly, adjusting the cooler of blood bags in her arms. Zara, of course, I'd love to catch up with you both when all this madness is over. She smiles at us too gratefully before turning to follow the certain woman back to the freezer. Zara, bye guys. We waved before moving off to get some lunch in the cafeteria. The cafeteria is bustling with activity. Soldiers and staff members alike filling their trays with food and finding seats. Us two walked in, immediately catching the attention of several people who recognized our faces from the arena or the training grounds. Some smile and wave, others whisper and point. Looks like we've caught plenty of attention after these past 5 months prior to CFTS, my love, I said as I grabbed blood-friendly food from the line of food to our right. Beast Connigan nods, a small smile playing on her lips as she grabs her own food, carefully selecting all blood-friendly options. Beast Connigan, seems like it. It's amazing how much our presence has changed things around here. She glances around the cafeteria before leaning in closer to me. Careful, my love, you don't want to spill your food, I said thoughtfully as we soon were done getting our food before exiting the line to find a seat. Bisconican chuckled softly, following me out of the line with her tray carefully balanced. We both scan the cafeteria for an empty table when suddenly a familiar voice calls out from behind us. Galora. Hey, over here. We turned to see Galora waving her hand while sitting next to Carden, Crystal, and Maxine. However, 4 guards are guarding Crystal and Carden, given their relation to the commander who's running the states. Hey y'all, it's been a while, I said as we walked over to sit next to Crystal. Galora grins widely, pushing herself up to make room for us both. Crystal looks up from her food, her eyes lighting up when she sees us. Carden nods in greeting, his guard standing at attention nearby. Maxine waves enthusiastically from across the table. Maxine, long time no see. We smiled as we sit. It's been a while. I'm guessing these 4 are here to keep an eye on you both, Crystal and Carden. Crystal nods, rolling her eyes playfully. Crystal, yeah, they're practically my shadows now. You know how it is when your dad's the commander. She leans back in her chair, taking a bite of her food. Crystal, so, how have you two been? Pretty good, actually. I'm sure you've heard about our performances, or even seen a couple, perhaps, I said before taking a bite of steak. Galora nods eagerly. Galora, oh, absolutely. Those 2 acts were insane. You two have some serious chemistry out there. She winks at us both, making Carden chuckle. Carden, and the nanotech? Mind blown. Maxine nods in agreement from across the table. Maxine, those light effects were amazing. Glad to hear your cards not giving y'all any trouble. I saw that Crystal's guards are women in their 30s, while Carden's are men of roughly the same age as Crystal's guards. Crystal shakes her head. Crystal, Nah, they're actually pretty decent once you get past the stern faces and constant vigilance. She gestures to her guards, who both give small smiles in response. Crystal. Cardin's guards are a bit more intense, though. How appropriate, a yandere like the 3 of 5 of us has guards just as intense as he is, I teased as I laughed. Cardin's face turns red at my tease, his guards standing up straighter, looking even more intense. Crystal giggles, Maxine snorts, and Galora bursts out laughing. The cafeteria echoes with laughter, drawing attention to our table. Carden. Hey, Carden protests playfully. He's gone again. Oh, come on, Carden. No need to be bashful. You know it's true. You should be humbled in front of your... Wait, Maxine, is that an engagement ring? She asked softly spokenly. Maxine's eyes widen, her hand flying to her left hand, where a simple silver band with a small diamond solitaire hits. Galore gasps. Crystal squeals, and Carden's head snaps towards Maxine. Galora, Maxine, when did this happen? Galora demands, leaning forward eagerly. Galora, details now. Carden hugs Maxine before kissing her cheek. I wondered when y'all would notice. I smirked. Carden, only you would notice something like that, Beast Koenig. Carden smirks back, pulling closer possessively. Carden, it's new. We wanted to keep it quiet until things settled down. Maxine blushes deeply, interlacing her fingers with Carden's. Well, congratulations anyways. Where do you get that ring anyways? I ask as I drink my water. Carden looks at me with a smirk, his thumb gently caressing Maxine's hand. Carden, wouldn't you like to know? A gentleman never reveals his secrets, especially not when it comes to his lady surprises. Maxine giggles softly, leaning into Carden's embrace. Did you at least get permission from the surviving spouse? I smirked, knowing that Carden could have only had gotten it from the infirmary area or asked the higher-ups to get or make one, but the last two are less likely. Carden chokes on his drink, coughing loudly. Maxine's eyes widen and she swats Carden's arm playfully. The table erupts into laughter at my blunt question. Carden, hey, Carden protests between coughs. Carden, that's classified information. I laughed. You can't hide anything from me, and besides, these Connigan eyes nailed hex sees everything, even the engravings. Miss his Henna Air, correct? Maxine's jaw drops, looking impressed and surprised that I caught that detail. Maxine, how did you... Carden sighs dramatically, putting his forehead against Maxine's shoulder. Carden, fine, yes, it's from Mrs. Sienna's personal collection before she passed last month. I wasn't exactly lying. I noticed I can't see the engravings on the inside of the ring, but that's not how I got the information. But I know better than to indulge that information. Anyways, all that matters is that you got permission from Mr. Air. No one's judging you, my guy. I smiled warmly. Cardin's expression softens, grateful for my acceptance. Cardin. Thanks, Bisconic. I wasn't sure how everyone would react, especially with everything going on. Maxine squeezes his hand reassuringly. Maxine, speaking of which, Crystal interrupts by raising her hand. I looked at Crystal curiously as I eat my apple. Crystal takes a deep breath before speaking up. Crystal, there's something else we need to discuss. She glances around the table nervously before continuing. Crystal, it involves all of us. Galora leans forward eagerly while Maxine looks concerned but supportive beside Cardin, who seems tense suddenly too. My voice falls to a whisper. You mean the fact that nobody has been informed of the plan yet to end this madness with you and Cardin's father, Crystal? Crystal's eyes widen slightly at my whisper and she nods slowly. Crystal, yeah, that... How did you know? Cardin looks at me sharply, his expression unreadable. Maxine squeezes his hand tighter, looking between the two of us nervously. Bisconigan, Commander Martinez has yet to disclose that information to us, not even in private, she says with a concerned expression. Which is why we need to confront him after lunch, I said firmly. The table grows quiet, the gravity of our words sinking in. Galora nods solemnly while Maxine looks worried about the impending confrontation. Cardin's face turns serious, his jaw clenched. Crystal swallows hard before asking softly, Crystal, what are we going to say to him? I've got something in the works. I pointed at my temple before speaking on our pitch. Anyways, what have y'all been doing to do your part? Because as expected, Zara has been at the blood donations booth to both donate via her enhancement and to help carry coolers full of blood bags as well, I asked curiously. Maxine speaks up first. Maxine, I've been organizing the medical supplies and coordinating with the doctors. Cardin's been helping me with that. Card nods in agreement before Galora chimes in. Galora, I've been managing the food donations and ensuring everything gets distributed properly. Crystal adds quietly. Crystal, well, you know, I've been working on the logistics behind the scenes, trying to make sure everything runs smoothly when the time comes. She glances at me nervously before adding softly, Crystal, and trying not to get in anyone's way. Now, why would you get in Bisconigan and I's way? We're a pride. We're a team clash. Sure, we're not in CFTS anymore, but we've been through enough to consider each other family after all, I said tender-heartedly. Crystal's eyes widen slightly at my words, and she blushes deeply. Maxine smiles warmly, while Galora looks touched. Cardin's expression softens for a moment before he clears his throat roughly. Cardin, yeah, family, he mutters gruffly. After lunch and a bit of catching up, we soon head to the command center, Cardin and Crystal's guards joining us, our expression serious. Once we opened the doors to Commander Martinez's war room, I spoke. Commander Martinez, sir, What exactly is your plan to take out Crystal and Carden's father, the commander?